to have you back for the second session of the poem The Builders. Let's quickly sum up what we have seen about this poem in the last session and then move on to the next stanzas. The poem The Builders is written by Henry Wadsworth Longfellow. He is one of the greatest American poets of 19th century. His poems are known to be transcendental and musical. The poem The Builders is a metaphor. A metaphor is a figure of speech where there is a comparison between two totally different things without using the words like or as. For example, in the present poem, the poet says that we are the builders. He does not say we are like the builders. So, this poem is a metaphor where our lives are compared to buildings, that is, two totally different things, and we are the builders. The material we have to build our lives or character is nothing but time. In the first stanza, the poet states that all human beings are the builders of their own life. We all, small or great, are part of the human history. In the second stanza, he articulates that everyone has his or her own purpose in life. The ordinary people who seem to be very trivial actually strengthen and support the extraordinary people. In the third stanza, he insists that the material we have at our hand to build our lives or characters is nothing but time. Our todays and yesterdays are the building blocks with which we build our character. In the fourth stanza, he wants us to be alert while we shape our future. We should not be careless that no one sees our weaknesses, the weaknesses of our character. With this knowledge, let's move on to the fifth stanza. In the elder days of art, builders wrought with greatest care each minute and unseen part, for the gods see everywhere. The poet wants to say that in olden days, builders or human beings did their work with utmost care. Here the word wrought could be understood in two different ways. One is the archaic past tense of the verb work, and the second is made or done in a decorative way, that is embellishing, to improve by decoration. As we see in this picture, where there is not even an inch left without being decorated. In olden days, people took care of each and every minute and unseen part. They did this because they felt that gods see everywhere. There are many minute and unseen parts which are neglected in our character. One such minute neglected part of our character is our thinking. We keep on thinking all the time, but we neglect what we think. We should choose what we think because we become what we think. Since we are what we think, we need to choose our thoughts very carefully. About the unseen part, I would like to show you a picture. In this picture, the large blue part is who we are, that is the part that is known to us, or the unseen part. The small red part is what the outer world thinks we are, or the small seen part, that is the seen part. The red one is the seen part, the blue one is unseen part. We think that if we take care of the seen part, that is the red one, it is enough. But the poet says that we should take care of this unseen part too. It is more important to take care of this unseen part because it is the larger chunk of the two. If we take care of the unseen part, which is the bigger of the two, the seen part is automatically taken care of. What happens if we neglect these minute and unseen parts? I would like to show you something about that too. Here in the picture, there are three circles. The first one is things I like to do. Second one, things I'm good at. The third one, things that make money. That is, things that are useful for us. When we neglect minute and unseen parts of our character or life, we end up doing things which are not part of any of these three circles. Hope you got my point. Then, what should we do? Let us do our work as well, both the unseen and the seen. Make the house where gods may dwell beautiful, entire, and clean. The meaning is very clear. The poet asks us to do our work, both the unseen and seen, very well. He wants us to make our house beautiful, entire, and clean. That is, he wants us to have a beautiful, entire, and clean character, so that God may dwell in us. We all know that cleanliness is next to godliness. Why? When I show you these two pictures, which one would you like? Obviously, the picture below, the picture with humble huts. Though the huts are humble, they look very beautiful and clean, so we like it. It's not gods alone, but even we like something beautiful, entire, and clean. Thus, the poet asks us to keep our characters clean and make life beautiful. Else, our lives are incomplete, standing in these walls of time, broken stairways where the feet stumble as they seek to climb. Our lives are incomplete without the qualities of beauty, completeness, and cleanliness. When we stand in these walls of time, that is, in the wall of history, walls of time is, we understood it as history. So when we see ourselves in history, we look like gaps in that wall, like we see in the picture. How does a house which is incomplete look like? Definitely not beautiful. As you can see in the picture, we cannot climb a broken staircase. Similarly, the weaknesses are like broken stairways which do not allow us to climb the ladder of life. I'll give you an example from a real life story. All of you must have seen this movie Mahanati, which is the biography of the great actress Savitri. She is a very beautiful and highly talented actress. There are so many positive traits in her character. Like, she was highly talented, she had spontaneity, she had professionalism, extraordinary memory, she was also captivating, perfectionist, enthusiast, kind-hearted, and so on. But there were some yawning gaps in her character which she did not take care of, which she did not work on, which brought her life to an abrupt end at a very young age. She lost her emotional balance because of some situations in her life. So she became an alcoholic that led to deterioration of her health, and she lost balance of her life. Financial downfall also added to the situation. So her life was incomplete. There are so many people around us who are efficient in many aspects of life, but a failure when it comes to facing the challenges of life. What are we to do? What should we learn from this? Build today then, strong and sure, with a firm and ample base, and ascending and secure shall tomorrow find its place. So the poet says we still have time. Today is the time to build our life, to build our character, to build a strong base, an ample base. Especially for you, the students who are at the budding stage of your life, you have ample time to work on these things, to work on your life and character. You can work on your actions, your thoughts, your plans, your routines, your styles, whatever, today, because you have ample time. If you work hard today, you will have a better future. you will have a secure tomorrow. Here are the pictures of the foundations of a house, an apartment, and a skyscraper. The depth of the foundation of a house would be around 1.5 meters or so. For an apartment, it is much deeper. And for a skyscraper, I need not mention. It will be much, much deeper. So we all know that the stronger and the deeper the foundation, the higher the building can soar into the sky. So you should work hard now to make the sky your limit. Many of you must be thinking that, oh yeah, this is a very nice point. Let's follow this from tomorrow. Or let's work on this from tomorrow. No, it's not from tomorrow. We have to work on it from today. That's what the poet says when he says, build today. We have to start working from today. Now, because tomorrow starts today. Our today's actions determine our future. In the beginning of the poem, I already told you that we have to be very careful of what we are doing today because that becomes our fate. Fate is nothing predetermined. It is determined by us, by our actions that we are doing now and today. With this, we come to the last stanza of the poem where the poet sums up his ideology. The essence of what he has been saying from the first stanza can be seen in the last stanza. Why did he say that we are all, without any difference, part of human history? Why did he say that we should take care of our character, leaving no yawning gaps in between? Why did he insist that our building should not be incomplete, our life should not be incomplete? All this is summed up in the last stanza. Thus alone can we attain to those turrets where the eye sees the world as one vast plain and one boundless reach of sky. The two words, thus alone, sum up the ideology of the poet throughout the poem. They talk about all the points that the poet has covered from the stanza 1 to stanza 8. If we can follow all those points scrupulously, if we can build our character or life according to the lines the poet has shown us in the poem, we can attain, we can reach those turrets. What are turrets? Turrets are the highest structures, highest points in a fort. To give you a more clear picture, this is a turret. These are somewhat ornamental and they also have a purpose. Here, 1 or 2 security guards are posted where they keep watching the surroundings of the fort. The poet wants us to build our character which stands tall like a tower amongst other beings. When we have such a character, we can see the world as one vast plain. And we can have the view of boundless sky, which reminds us of the limits, the heights we can reach. This is the view of a small town where we can see that there are different types of buildings. Though the view is from a high point, we can still see the differences. But here, this view is from a higher point where we cannot see the differences between the buildings. We can see just some small patches, but everything looks like a vast plain. It's a plain. So this is what the poet exactly wants to convey. We have to build our character in such a manner that we can see no differences between the human beings. All the differences between the human beings should be dissolved. There might be differences of race or religion, caste, creed, language, nationality, etc., etc. All the differences should get dissolved. We should be able to see the oneness of humanity. That's the purpose of building the character so carefully. This is what the poet wants us to do, not individually but collectively. Only then can we progress in our life and also contribute to human evolution. We all should build our characters in such a way that we can see oneness of humanity. The differences between human beings are obvious, but they are beautiful. We should not tear ourselves apart because of these differences. We should be able to enjoy the beauty of the difference. Only then we can progress in human evolution. This is the idea the poet wants to convey in the poem. I would like to conclude the poem with a quote which reads like this: "Character may determine our fate, but character is not determined by fate. It's determined by our choices." We must never forget how powerful character is in shaping our destiny. But we must also remember how powerful we are in shaping our character. With this, we end the session. Good luck and have a good time.